Dear students, today we are going to see periodic classification of elements. In our sophisticated life, we used to shop on the supermarkets instead of conventional grocery stores. Why we prefer supermarkets? Because in the supermarkets, all the entities like groceries, spices, fruits, vegetables, everything is being arranged in the proper manner. So that we prefer to shop on the supermarket. Likewise, in chemistry also, the periodic table, in this periodic table, all the elements are arranged in the proper manner. Let me see how these elements are arranged in the proper manner. In the 9th standard, we have studied, many scientists have made many attempts to classify the periodic elements in the different way. Let me see one by one. First, Dobereiner made law of triads. Second one, Newland law of octaves. Third one is Mendeleev's periodic law. So, Mendeleev arranged the elements in terms of increasing order of atomic weight. That means, physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic weights. He arranged the elements in the increasing order of atomic weight, but certain discrepancies are there in which he couldn't find the place for the hydrogen. He couldn't find the place for the hydrogen in the proper place, because hydrogen has a place in the alkali metals as well as it can place in the halogens. So, he couldn't find the place for the hydrogen atom. Next, he couldn't find the place for the isotopes. So, these are the discrepancies was there in the Mendeleev's periodic law. After that, in the 20th century, Henry Moseley in the year 1912, he established modern periodic law. It is called modern periodic law. That modern periodic law says that physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number. He introduced the new term atomic number. In this, atomic number is designated as Z. What do you mean by atomic number? Atomic number is total number of protons or total number of electrons in a neutral atom. So, in which he arranged the elements in the increasing order of number of electrons. So, in which he arranged vertical columns are called groups, horizontal rows are called periods. So, in which he established 7 periods and 18 columns. The first column comprises of alkali metals, second column comprises of alkaline earth metals, group number 3 to 12 is called transition metals, and group number 13 to 18 is called as p block elements, in which 13th group is called boron family, 14th group is called carbon family, 15th group is called nitrogen family, and 16th group is called oxygen family, or otherwise it is called as chalcogens. That means, what do you mean by chalcogens? Chalcogens are ore forming elements. Next one is 17th group is halogen family. What do you mean by halogen family? Halo means salt, that means salt producers. Halogen means salt producers, hence 17th group is called halogens family. 18th group is called inert gases or zero group, or otherwise called as noble gases or inert gases. Next we will see periods. What are all the periods are there? There are 7 periods, in which first period contains 2 elements. First period contains 2 elements, second period contains 8 elements, and third period contains 8 elements. Fourth period contains 18 elements and fifth period contains 18 elements. Sixth and seventh period contains 32 elements. In the periodic table, we are going to see 4 block elements where it is located. At first, we are see here group number 1 and 2 is called S block elements, and group number 13 to 18 is called P block elements. Why we call it as P block elements? If you are going to suppose to write the electronic configuration, in these elements the last electron enters into the p orbital, p subcell, whereas here if you are going to suppose to write electronic configuration for these two group elements, the last electron enters into the s orbital, s subcell, whereas here group number 3 to 12 is called D block elements, or we can call it as transition elements. In these transition elements, in the period 6th and 7th, there is a F block elements, because these F block elements are located within the transition elements, hence it is called F block elements are called inner transition elements. These inner transition elements are further classified into two broad categories. One is 4 block elements, or otherwise called as lanthanides. Next one is 5 block elements, otherwise called as actinides. In the group, we are going to see here all the elements in the same group will have same chemical properties. Why they are having same chemical properties? As we know earlier that these elements have same number of valence electron, it has the same chemical properties, but not at all in the physical properties. Physical properties like melting point, boiling point, density may be vary from one another. Let me see how we can easily memorize all the number of periods and groups in the tabular column format. Let me see now. In the exam point of view, we are going to see the periods in the tabular column format as follows. Let me see now. So, here in the first column we are going to see period numbers, and second column we put name of the period, and third column we put atomic numbers, that is starting from and ending from, and third one is number of elements which is present in the particular period. So, let me see first period contains only 2 elements, this is called shortest period, that atomic number 1 and 2 is there. Second and third period is called short period, in which it contains only 8 elements, that is atomic number start from 3 to 10 and 11 to 18, that is from lithium to neon and sodium to argon. Fourth and fifth period is called as long period, in which it contains 18 elements, in which 8 elements are normal elements and 10 elements are transition elements. That is, it starts from atomic number 19 to 36 and 37 to 54, that is from potassium to krypton and rubidium to xenon. In the last segment, we are going to see 6th and 7th period is called longest period, in which it contains 32 elements. Among the 32 elements, first 8 elements are normal elements, next 10 elements are transition elements, another 14 elements are inner transition elements, in which atomic number starts from 55 to 86 and 87 to 118, in which starts from cesium to radon, and the last period contains incomplete series, we can call it as. Now, I think you have understood the concept of periods in the tabular column format. Now, we are going to see the groups in which we are going to see in the tabular column format. It may be useful for you in the exam point of view. You can utilize in the choose the best answer, match the following, these kind of questions they may be asked in this tabular column format. Let me see now. At first, in the first column, I am allocating for block, because as you know earlier that in the modern periodic table all the elements are subdivided into 4 broad categories. They are all 4 block elements: S block, P block, D and F block. So, S block is in the group numbers 1 and 2. As you know already, that is first group is nothing but alkali metals, second group is nothing but alkaline earth metals. As you know already, alkaline metals and alkaline earth metals are highly reactive. Why it is highly reactive? Because it contains the valence electron 1 and 2, that 1 electron or 2 electron in the valence shell can be easily donated to some other atom, and they are call it as highly reactive metals. And p block element starts from group number 13 to 18. 13th group is called boron family, 14th group is called carbon family, 15th group is called nitrogen family, 16th group is called oxygen family, and 17th one is called halogen family, and 18th one is called inert gases. Let me see some special features of this family now. Yes, carbon family is nothing but is a backbone of life chemistry. Oxygen family is otherwise called as chalcogens. What do you mean by chalcogens? They are all called ore forming elements. That means most of the ores are oxide ore, sulphide ore, they are all called ore forming elements. 17th one is called halogens family, in which they are called as salt producers. Halo means salt, generation means productions. That is, most of the salts are in this 17th group only. Next one we are going to see inert gases. Inert gases otherwise called as zero group, otherwise called as noble gases, rare gases, something it may be. Why inert gases are not reactive or unreactive? Why we can call it as unreactive? Because it has a stable NS2 NP6 configuration. So, as it has stable NS2 NP6 configuration, it won't lose or it won't gain any other electron, hence it is highly unreactive. Last, we will see the D block and F block, which is present in the group numbers 3 to 12. As you know earlier, group number 3 to 12 is transition metals, in which 6th and 7th period contains inner transition elements, and these are all mostly radioactive. Before we are going for evaluation part, let me summarize now. That means, in the modern periodic table, it comprises of 7 periods and 18 columns. That means called 18 groups. That means modern, what do you mean by modern periodic law? Before we are going to close it and we will recap it. The physical and chemical properties of the elements or the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. Shall we go for evaluation part? Let me discuss about the evaluation part of the periodic classification of elements. First question is, horizontal rows are called dash. What is the answer? As we have seen, horizontal rows are called periods. Vertical columns are called dash. So, as we have studied earlier, vertical columns are called groups. In the group, third question, in the group all the elements have same physical properties, say true or false. Obviously, this question is false. Why it is false? Because in the group all the elements have same chemical properties. Why it has the same chemical properties? Because it contains same number of valence electrons. Next question is, why zero group elements are highly unreactive? Anybody knows the answer? Yes. These zero group elements have completely filled NS2 NP6 configuration. That means stable completely filled electronic configuration, in which there is no possibility of exchange of electrons in between the atoms. Hence, it is highly unreactive. And let me see the fifth question. It is match the following, in which group number 2, 17, 3 to 12, 16, 18 and family name is given as transition elements, noble gases, halogens, alkaline earth metals and chalcogens. Shall we match it now? Yes. Group number 2 is called alkaline earth metals, alkaline earth metals. Group number 17 is called halogens. Group number 3 to 12 is transition elements. 16 is called chalcogens and 18 is noble gases, or we can call it as zero group elements. Okay. The evaluation part is over. Now, we are going to see the periodic trends in the modern periodic table. Let me see the periodic trends in the periodic table. At first, we are going to see what do you mean by periodic trends. Anything which changes at regular intervals are called periodic trends, and its behavior is called periodicity. Let me see the periodic properties now. First one is atomic radii. Second one is ionic radii. And third one is ionization energy. And fourth one is electron affinity. And last one is, it is not a periodic property, but it is called a relative property. In the later classes, in higher classes, you may study about this, why it is called a relative property. Now, we are going to see one by one what do you mean by atomic radii, ionic radii, ionization energy, electron affinity, electron negativity, and then we will see the periodic trends, that is how it varies along the period, how it varies as we move down the group, let we see later. Shall we define first? Yeah. Atomic radii. What do you mean by atomic radii? Atomic radii is nothing but let me take any isolated gaseous atom like this. In this, the center part is called nucleus. The center part is called nucleus. As we are aware that electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a stationary orbit, is called a shell. So, if the valence electron is present here, means it is called valence electron. Outermost orbit, the electron which is present in the outermost orbit is called valence orbit. So, the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost orbit is called atomic radii. So, there are two types of atomic radii are there. So, in a given metal element, this is I am taking two consecutive metals. In this, the metallic bond is formed between the two consecutive nuclei of the two consecutive metals. In this, what do you mean by metallic radius? Is the half the distance between the two metals present in a metallic bond, and this one is called metallic radius, and this is most probably possible in the case of two metal atoms. So, what about in the case of non-metals? In this, here also it is called covalent radius. For example, in hydrogen molecule, this is one hydrogen atom, this is one hydrogen atom. So, in between the hydrogen molecule, one covalent bond is formed. So, the covalent bond is nothing but is half the distance between the two consecutive non-metals of this in a molecule is called covalent radius. Next, we are going to see what do you mean by ionic radii. So, before we are going to see the ionic radii, first of all we have to know that how an atom will become an ion. Let me see how an atom will become ion. See, this is an atom. When it is going to lose its electron, it becomes positive ion, it is called cation. So, whenever an atom loses an electron, it will become an ion, that means here it becomes cation. So, in what cases it form anion, that means I will explain now. And when an atom gains one electron, it will become anion. So, what is actually takes place in the aspect of size shall we discuss now. See here, magnesium atom, after losing 2 electron, it will become Mg2 plus. That means, if the size of the magnesium is somewhat big, we can assume like this. After losing electron, the size will become very small. So, now we are going to understand that any atom after losing electron, the size decreases. This is what we have to understand in this aspect. In the case of anion, let me see now. So, fluorine after gaining electron, it will become F minus. As we know that this anion is having electron rich. So, now we see the what kind of size is changes. See, fluorine atom is somewhat looking like this size. After acquiring one electron, it will become somewhat bigger size. So, in both the cases, what you are inferring? When an electron loses, the size decreases, whereas when a non-metal accept electron, the size increases. This is what we are going to see. So, what do you mean by ionic radius? We are going to deal it now. So, this is called nucleus of an ion. So, the distance between the center part of the nucleus and at what extent the electron influence is there is called ionic radii. Would you understand what I am telling? That means, the center of the nucleus and what extent the electron influences the nucleus is called ionic radii. Thus, next we are going to see ionization energy. So, let me discuss ionization energy in terms of definition in a different way. Here I am taking one isolated gaseous atom. I am taking isolated gaseous atom in which I am going to supply certain amount of energy. I am going to supply certain amount of energy to remove an electron. That means, as I told earlier, when an atom loses electron, it will becomes cation. It will becomes cation. So, A will become A plus. This is what we have seen so far. So, I am supplying certain amount of energy, minimum energy I am supplying to remove an electron, to form a monopositive cation from the isolated gaseous atom. So, how from this equation itself we can define the ionization energy. So, how we can define it? First we will start from here. So, that I put 1 here. See, the amount of energy required to remove an electron from an isolated gaseous atom to form monopositive cation. Did you understand, students? I will repeat one more time how you can define ionization energy. See here, when I put 1 here, you have to start from here. The correct definition will be there. See, the amount of energy required to remove an electron from an isolated gaseous atom to form monopositive cation. This is called ionization energy, or we can call it as ionization enthalpy 1. So, if you are going to remove another electron from A plus, it is called second ionization enthalpy. This may be dealt in the later classes or in your higher classes. So, A plus we are supplying energy is called ionization enthalpy 2, and it forms A2 plus, and we are going to remove one electron. This is called second ionization enthalpy. It is called second ionization enthalpy. This may be dealt in the 11th standard and 12th standard. Okay. Now, we move on to electron affinity. So, electron affinity is just a reverse of ionization enthalpy. Let me define first. Here also I am taking one isolated gaseous atom in which I am going to add one electron, in which, as you know earlier that we have seen here, when an electron gains electron, it will become electronegative. So, here also we are going to recapitulate. So, when an isolated gaseous atom after gaining electron, it will become anion and certain amount of energy is released. I put above arrow mark. Why I am putting like this? Because the energy is released when an anion is formed by the addition of an electron to the isolated gaseous atom. Let me define now. Yeah, we will put 1 here. Why I am putting 1 here? From here we have to start for the definition. The amount of energy released when an anion is formed by the addition of electron to the isolated gaseous atom. Is it easy, my dear students? See how we can define very easily in terms of equation format. So, like ionization energy, we are going to define electron affinity. See here, when I put 1 here, you have to start from here. Shall we repeat one more time? The amount of energy released when an anion is formed by the addition of an electron to the isolated gaseous atom. Last but not the least, we are going to see electronegativity. Shall we discuss about the electronegativity? As I told earlier, these 4 are periodic properties, and this one is not a periodic property. In your later higher classes, you can study that this one is a relative property. It is not a property, it is a number, mere number, we are going to mention it. So, electronegativity is not a periodic property, it is a relative property. Let me discuss now. Yeah. So, electronegativity is defined as, see, this is one atom, it is having one electron. This is another atom, is having one free electron. So, both are combining to form one bond, A bond B. Let me take one example, schematic example. So, this bond is made up of 2 electrons, because A gives 1 electron, B gives 1 electron. So, both are forming one bond between 2 consecutive atoms. See, this bond is made up of 2 electrons. So, if you are going to break or cleave in this compound, in this molecule, what is actually takes place? See, it should have goes like this. So, it is not takes place in the most cases. Why? This is called homolytic fission. In most of the cases, if the here we are going to see explain about the electronegativity. In this, what is actually takes place? A loses its own electron and B takes the shared pair of electrons. B takes the shared pair of electrons. So, here we can define it. This B takes all the 2 electrons as a electronegative one, and A loses all the electron what it given. So, it becomes electropositive. So, shall we define electronegativity now? Yeah. The tendency of an atom, I repeat one more time, the tendency of an atom in a molecule to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. Now, is it easy to understand, my dear students? See here, in a molecule, a bond is formed by 2 electrons, in which one of the atom attracts all the shared pair of electron towards itself. So, it is called more electronegative. So, it loses electron, it becomes electropositive. So, I repeat one more time, electronegativity is defined as the amount here, the tendency of an atom in a molecule to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself is called electronegativity. Let me see the periodic trends along the period as well as along the group now. Now, we are going to see how the periodic properties are changing along the period as we move down the group. Let me discuss now. The first periodic property is atomic radii. So, how it changes as we move from left to right along the period. So, we can draw graphically like this. That means, atomic radii as we move from left to right along the period, it decreases. See, from here it increases, when moves down on the left to right along the period, it decreases, like we can write it as. And as we move down the group, atomic radii, and from the diagram itself we can come to the conclusion that atomic radii from left to right along the period, it decreases, whereas when we move down the group, atomic radii increases. Why it decreases? Because here when we move from left to right along the period, the electrons are added in the same cell. Very important point this one is. While the electrons are added in the same cell, the nuclear charge increases. Due to increase in the nuclear charge, the outer electrons will shrink towards the nucleus, hence the atomic radii decreases. See, come to the group. When we move down the group, see here the atomic size is small, whereas when we move down the group, atomic radii is large. Why atomic radii increases down the group? Shall we explain now? Yeah. Here it will increases like 2, 8, 18, 32 like this. This and all we have seen in the previous session. That is, when move down the group, in the extra electron enters into the new cell. See here, in a period the extra electron enters into the same cell, hence nuclear charge increases, hence atomic radii decreases. Whereas in the case of group, atomic radii increases because the extra electron are added in the new cell, hence the distance between the center of the nucleus and the valence orbit increases. Did you understand, my dear students? Next we are going to see ionic radii. So, like atomic radii, ionic radii also exhibit the same gradation like this. Here in the place of atomic radii we will put ionic radii, and here in the group we will put ionic radii. The same trend is following here. Like ionic radii decreases when we move from left to right along the period, as well as when we move from top to bottom in the group, ionic radii increases. The reason is the same. As I repeat one more time, here the extra electron enters into the same cell, hence increase in the nuclear charge decreases the size of the ionic radii. Whereas in the case of groups, the same definition repeated for the ionic radii, in which when we move from top to bottom in the group, the extra electron enters into the new cell. That means the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost valence orbit increases when we move down the group. Next we are going to see electron affinity. Next we will see ionization energy, electron affinity, and electronegativity. So, how these periodic properties will vary along the period and group we are going to discuss now. So, first one, ionization energy. When we move from left to right along the period, it increases. that is from left to right along the period, ionization energy increases. When we move down the group, this ionization energy decreases. Why it increases when we move from left to right along the period? Because very high amount of energy is required to remove an electron in a small sized atom. So, as we have seen that atomic radii, ionic radii, when we move from here to here, left to right, the size decreases gradually. So, small size atom will have high nuclear charge, hence high amount of energy is required to remove the electron. Whereas, when we move down the group, atomic radii, ionic radii increases. Due to increase in the size, the distance between the center of the atom and the valence orbital is increases, hence very minimum amount of energy is required to remove the electron. The same method we can adopt for electron affinity as well as electronegativity. Here electron affinity and electronegativity also follows the same periodicity. Likewise, here also electron affinity and electronegativity, when we move down the group, the electron affinity, electronegativity decreases, whereas while moving from left to right along the period, electron affinity and electronegativity increases.